This second tutorial explains how you should reuse your design as much as possible and how to do it. Let's start by creating a new product and a new part. Split the screen vertically. Let's describe a little more what is a part. A part is a product and a 3D shape strongly binded together. The 3D shape is a geometry container. The upper node, called physical product, is just the same as a product and is used to store part attributes like its name. Note that a specific icon is used to identify this physical product plus 3D shape entity as something called a part. When you activate back and forth the product or the 3D shape, the application changes. Why? This is because there are different categories of data. Every data category can be edited by a set of applications grouped into something called a workshop. For example, 3D shape belongs to the part workshop and can be edited by building space planning, imagine and shape application, etc. When you double-click on the product level of the part, you switch to product workshop, and the last used application of this workshop is launched, in our case, building and civil assemblies. When you reactivate the 3D shape, the last application of the part workshop is launched. For us, it's building space planning. But don't be surprised if you switch from product to part and remain in building space planning application. This is because this application can edit either a part or a product. Let's reconnect with the scenario of step 1 of this tutorial. The data we created then was a desk. Let's search for it. Use Explore command to launch a database browser. As you can see, this window will not allow 3D authoring but data structure navigation with a 3D preview. For example, Explore Parents will find all products under which this part is used, and this icon is to find all root products under which this part is used. This is a way to find back the product created in step 1, although it was not renamed appropriately. You can expand a product in the browser to see what it contains. Simply put, you can find any entity, part or product of your data structure and use the Explorer to explore up at any level and then down by expanding the branches node. And finally retrieve the entire product where this part is used. From the Explore window, you can partially open the model using Open Advanced, or simply use Open command. Then you get the model in edition mode. Drag and drop is the easiest way to instantiate it under the product created previously. Repeat this operation to reuse it a second time under the root product. Use the robot to relocate this second product instance away from the first one. You can close the widget containing the reference of product with 2 tables, as this model is already loaded in session. You can change attributes from there. For example, the reference title of this product that is changed simultaneously on both instances. You can change the instance title, which is specific to this instance of the product, under its parent. So you can use it to describe the location, for example. Edit the second instance title to complete the location description on the first instance. Practically, the reference title is equivalent to the name of a part in a store, whereas the instance title describes how it's used. So it's valid only under the product where it's used, even if this product itself is reused several times under a common root product. Information relative to how this product is used, like the location, can be set on the product instance title, and the product reference title should be used to describe what it contains, for example, here, 2 cylinders, as this is how you would call this product if it was for sale in a store. Let's finish renaming instances of part in our model to distinguish the one on the right side of our assembly of 2 tables from the one on the left side. Note that these instance titles are changed on both assemblies. Now let's rename properly the upper assembly. We are now going to create a new reference of table from the previous one. Let's activate the 3D shape to access the geometry definition of the table. Copy the content of the geometrical set. Activate the 3D shape of our new empty part and pass the geometrical set into it. Reactivate the product, still with a double click, and use this new reference of table inside the assembly. Relocate this table at the center of the assembly. Close the widget with the new table as it is already available on the left widget. Activate its geometry to edit the sketcher and change its geometry. The geometrical set is the level where you should set the color, as it stands for a group of geometry. And finally, save this model, as we'll reuse it later on. To summarize, we created a first reference of table and reused it 4 times, then created another reference of table and reused it once. In this other example, you can see how a minimum number of different references can quickly create a detailed model, provided you reuse items efficiently. And this is a key rule to remember. Control the number of references you create and reuse them as much as possible. If you follow this rule, you will be able to design extensive and very detailed model on a mid-range computer, like this model of bridge, made with about 500 references, but hundreds of thousands of instances on a laptop with 16 GB of RAM. I never face any scalability issue.